have to say personality traits is more important to me, because of course as we grow older, we don't always look the same, but personality is where you really connect with the person, you get close to them, and that's where the main attraction for having a future with them comes from.
There you go. Go ahead.
Within a relationship, personality traits are more important because in the end, will you be a lot happier with the way a person's personality is or what they look like? Most likely, you're more determined with how they treat you and how they come across to you and other people, whereas how they can impress somebody.
Um, Personality versus physical attributes of a person, I would have to say both. I know that's kind of funny, but personality is very important, but also physicalities too, because even if they have a great personality, but if they don't take care of themselves physically, it's not very attractive.
Well, most importantly, physical traits are most important.
Well, I feel like both personality traits and physical attributes are both important. Initially, the first thing you see when you see somebody is their appearance, and then you get to know them on the inside, and those two things together are what make it concrete for me.
I think personality traits are more important than physical traits.
Their smile. That definitely shows me that they're a happy person, or you can see they're genuine, and I don't know, it makes me feel good, so it makes me like the person more.
The way they introduce themselves, whereas they're actually paying attention to me and I'm paying attention to them, and they have a smile on their face, and they're actually trying to start a conversation and get to know me, whereas they're worried about my physical features.
The first thing that I notice about a person is their smile. A lot of people, they have a great smile, but they don't show it. And so when I first meet a person, if they're smiling, it shows something about them.
Well, I like to joke around a lot, so I would notice their sense of humor. Like, if they laugh at my jokes, then they have a good sense of humor.
The first thing I notice about a person is probably their personality, how they get along in their surroundings, how they respond to other people, if they're funny, if they're quiet, introvert, extrovert, that type of thing.
Okay.
The first thing I noticed in a person is their facial structure.
I think so. I think sometimes we go into relationships with friends that we don't put ourselves in that situation. Like, the mentality isn't like, oh, I'm going to like this person for a more intimate relationship, but as time goes on, you might see that we actually, work out really well, and it can grow from there. So yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure if I could actually be interested in somebody I'm not attracted to. I'll actually have to get to know the person first. Depends on how I am or how they are when I'm hanging around with them. If we actually get along, if our personalities click, and if they actually make me happy, then I could possibly be attracted to somebody that's not attractive.
Could I be interested in someone that I am not initially attracted to? Yes. Because you meet a person and you're just friends at first, as you become friends, you can change that to being attractive. So I think yes.
I mean, honestly, no, I could not be interested in somebody that I'm not attracted to, because if I'm not attracted to you, then probably won't even approach you.
I think it's possible to be attracted to somebody you're not initially attracted to. Over time, I guess something you didn't initially see, you probably see later based on how much you know somebody and getting to know somebody better. And then you look at them and you're like, this might be a good look.
could be interested in someone I'm not attracted to because looks aren't everything. So if someone has a good personality, or if they're nice and kind, or if they have those personality traits that I'm looking for, it kind of masks what their physical traits are.
My parents' views and mine for a guy, for me, are probably very similar. Has to be very spiritual and Seventh-day Adventist, of course. But, well, I'm Brazilian and my family really wants me to get more into the American culture, but that's not something that's that important to me, so that's a little bit different.
My family's view for me with a good mate is it's not really different from my own. It's like they're really letting me choose. But if they have a comment, they will comment on it. But in the end, it's my choice of who I want to be with, whereas what they have to say about it.
What I view for my potential mate and what my parents view are very different. Not in the sense of is he good looking, smart, and things like that, but they have, I don't know how to say it. Basically, my parents, they look at money financially, and they also look at basically my needs, but also they look at money like as number one, whereas money for me, I mean, they need to be good at finances, but they don't have to be rich.
Well, I mean, that's a irrelevant question. I mean, it doesn't matter what my family thinks. I'm going to choose who I want to be with, so I don't get the question.
Me and my family agree on the type of girls that I usually go for. I haven't brought anybody home that my parents haven't liked, so so far we agree, and there hasn't been any issues, so I feel like they're pretty comfortable in the decisions I make when it comes to females.
I feel like my mom and I kind of want the same things. She mainly focuses on like having a spouse that is more reliable and stable and has a good job, but she wants all the other things, like an emotional person, someone that I can connect with emotionally. So I think our values or our desires for my spouse are the same, but she just emphasizes one aspect more than the other.
It's really close between family values and sense of humor, because I laugh a lot. And so somebody that can make me laugh is very attractive, and it just lifts my spirit and makes any bad situation a little bit better. But a family is also very important, and to keep that stable and together and connected is also important to me.
Okay.
Above everything, the most important thing to me from a guy is family values. Because I would rather him being able to take care of me and our family, whereas him being able to make money or have a sense of humor. Because even though he can make money and have a sense of humor, that doesn't mean he's taking care of me and my family. We could just be a background or just something there for him as a prop, maybe. So as long as he has family values, I'm sure we could work everything else out.
Yes. So out of the traits of sense of humor, financial stability, charisma, and eloquent speech, and family values, I would have to say family values, because it's a little deeper than the others. You can have a sense of humor, but you have no values, then your humor is pretty crude. If you have if you have great eloquence of speech, but you have no values, it's just empty words. And if you're financially stable, but you have no values, it doesn't mean you'll stay financially stable. And so I'd say family values is the ultimate one, because that one will definitely be the one that's stable.
Realistically, at the end of the day, I need somebody to make me laugh. So a sense of humor is pretty important.
Okay.
Most important trait to me in a significant other would have to be a sense of humor. There's gonna be rough days, and on those rough days, I want somebody to make me laugh, be able to laugh with me. The sense of, laughter is the best medicine. So.
Out of all of those traits, I would like family values because it's important. Family is important. People are important. It's important to love each other. It's important to have relationships with people and to treasure those relationships. So when you do treasure a relationship, then all the other stuff kind of falls in after it. You take care of them financially. You enjoy laughing with them and making them laugh. All that other stuff just comes along with it. So family values.
Why not?
I'd have to say not intentionally, just because then we're on such different emotional levels and our mentality levels are very different, and so our views might be different, but there's a possibility it would work, but probably not intentionally.
Yes, I would date somebody from a socially economic background than I am, because it doesn't matter where they're coming from. It just matters to me how they treat me. I mean, maybe they're not popular, or maybe they don't make money, but that is okay, because in the end, I want to be happy, and I don't want everybody else to be happy. It's all about me.
Yes, I would date someone with a lower social or economic background because that doesn't really make who they are as a person by their own choices. Yes, it does give them a harder fight, but if they are absolutely and solely a good person, it doesn't really matter their background, because in fact I probably would want someone from a lower standard that's been more successful because they know and value and had to work for things.
Would I date a girl from a lower educational class or economic class? Yeah, I would. I mean, I myself am not from pretty high class of economics, so I'm just trying to make this money, But no, seriously, I would date somebody. That doesn't matter to me.
I could see myself dating somebody of a lower economic or educational level. Just because you're from a certain place or you had to go through certain things in your life doesn't determine what type of person you're going to be.
I could date someone from a lower educational and social background as long as they knew where they were going. If they decided to stay in that lower place, then I couldn't date them. But if they were in the process of moving up, if we were on the same level, or if they were above me, but that's just where they came from, that gives me more of a reason to respect them.
The most 3 important things that my mate would have to have in himself, of course, would be family values, the most important. Then a sense of humor. I love to laugh. You don't have a sense of humor, then we're not going to get along. And of course, financial stability. I want us to be able to support each other. We don't have to be rich, just comfortable.
The traits that I'd like to have in my future mate, the top 3, I would say, was they have to be authentic, they have to be honest, and they have to love God.
Okay.
Well, 3 qualities that I look for in a girl for a future mate would be someone that I could hang out with, someone to really, be there for me when I need them, and they have to have a relationship with Christ, honestly.
Does age matter if a person has all the right features? If the person is what you're looking for, age can be a determining factor in whether or not you try to talk to them. But once you get to a certain level, say you're in college and you're a senior, and there's a freshman that meets all your standards and everything is going good with that, I wouldn't necessarily say that age should stop you.
I think the age of the person does matter because you have different values depending on what age you're at. So an 18-year-old does not have the same values as a 20-year-old, and your priorities change a lot.
Carlos and I have been dating for 2 years. Yesterday.
I have been dating my girlfriend for now about 3 weeks, or almost 4. We're almost at a month. So
I have been dating my girlfriend for almost 4 months.
I've been dating my boyfriend for almost 2 years. It's going to be 2 years on Thanksgiving.
We met back when I was a sophomore in high school, but she was actually dating throughout high school, so our senior year, she started having little feelings for me, so, you know, I had to help her out, and then we just started hanging out and stuff, and we got to know each other, and I really liked her personality, her trust in God, which is obviously the most important characteristic.
I was attracted to my partner by his persistence, actually. I've known him for about 5 years now, and 3 of those years we were just friends. But his persistence in wanting to be with me is what, I guess, initially attracted me.
the things that attracted me to her are really her. She's really kind. She's really spiritual. She tries her best to put God first in all of her situations. She's really pretty. That's always a plus. And she's just someone I really get along with. I can pray with. I'm really comfortable around. And whenever we're together, I mean, we have a lot of fun, and she's someone I can connect with.
What attracted me to my girlfriend was, first off, she is absolutely beautiful, and she is also beautiful on the inside. She has an amazing personality. She's a hard worker. She's really courteous to everyone, and she just, lights up my day.
I believe that we're very complementary of each other because Carlos is more of an introvert and I'm more of an extrovert, and I think that we balance each other out with that. And also, it's kind of obvious that we're not the same ethnicity, so we kind of balance each other out in that way too.
I would say that we have complementary needs in our relationship that we both fulfill. I'm more of an extrovert, whereas he's an introvert. And I guess it was his quietness that also drew me to him because I wanted to know what he was thinking, and it's just stuff like that.
With my girlfriend, I feel like we complement each other in different ways. We're very similar, but there are times when she pulls me back in and says, "Hey, let's refocus," and I can, refocus her a little bit.
I think, as far as complementary needs go, I think we balance each other out pretty well. I know as the man in the relationship, I do need to be very careful of fleeing the appearance of evil. And so in many cases, I tend to be more on the lookout for things or situations that we might be in where even if we're not doing anything, it could look that way to someone else, and so I try to avoid those. And so I tend to be more on the lookout for that, and then she keeps me in check just kind of with things we talk about, or if I do something and make a mistake, she keeps me in check.
My parents don't exactly approve of our relationship, and we're still going strong. So, I mean, their opinion is important to me, but at the end of the day, it's my life, and I can love whoever I want to love. So, I think that it doesn't really, it plays a role, but it's not going to make me stop.
If my parents weren't in approval of it, yes, I would. I firmly believe in honoring your father and mother. And, if it's a relationship that you have to keep it secret, you probably shouldn't be in it in the first place.
I think if my parents disapproved of my relationship, I would definitely take their thoughts into consideration and really think it over and pray about it. But I wouldn't let them change or decide if I was going to be in a relationship or not.
I think if this was something that I found out back in the start of our relationship, I think that would have caused a little bit of problems. Maybe I wouldn't let myself get so attached. Maybe I wouldn't get to the point where I am right now. That wouldn't be a reason to break up, but I think that would be more reason to break up. I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah.
I don't think well, I know that I definitely do want to have children, so I think that would be a deal breaker for me. So yes.
If my partner didn't want children, I think I would still stay in the relationship, mainly because one, I think minds can change over time, and two, compromise is compromise. And so I mean, right now, things like children and marriage are so far off in my mind that it's not even worth being a problem.
If my partner didn't want to have children, I think I'd be okay with it. It'd be something that I would have to get over, but it would be okay with me in the long run.
I don't think that society has played a role in how I selected him, but I think that the fact that nowadays it's not like such a big deal to be interracial has like helped us be together. Because if it was like really frowned upon everywhere, I think it'd be harder for us, but that's not really like an obstacle in our relationship. So, yeah.
I don't think society had anything to do with how I chose my partner. I truly do think that it was just meant to be, that it was just everything happened in the right time and in the right way, and that it was meant to work out like that.
Do I think society influences how we choose? I'd definitely say yes. And the reason I say yes is because relationships look different all over the world. And I think that's a big play. I mean, in Western society, Hollywood is one of the biggest influences, as well as peers around us, and what's expected in a relationship. And you've got to go for the cute girl, or you've got to go for the guy with muscles, or, anything like that. I think the way that we choose people is largely influenced by the people we hang out with and by things going on around us.
I really think that society does have a big influence over who you pick as your partner, with the way that media portrays relationships and how people are supposed to look. I think that society has played a big part in that decision.
I think when you're in college, it's more than just dating someone. I think that you're really looking for someone to marry. So if that person isn't like spiritually where you want to be, then it's probably not a good idea to date that person, because I feel like you're just wasting your time. Also, if there's certain things that you know is really going to bother you for the rest of your life, then that's probably not a good thing.
Is there anything since we've been dating that I don't think was important? I'd say no. I think all those things that were important in the time leading up to us dating are still important now, because they were all things I was looking for that are important in the relationship itself.
Since I've been dating, I've realized, not that I didn't think this was important before, but I have realized how important it is that we are spiritually connected together.
An attribute that I once thought was important that I no longer think is important. I can't say that one comes to mind.
How long have I been married? I've been married 24 years, 6 months, and 2 weeks. We began the countdown to our 25th. What did I know before marriage about my mate? I knew that she was attractive. Males have very small quality lists. One is that very attractive. She was very attractive to me, very charming, very energetic. I was drawn like that as a moth to the flame. And I was aware of the fact that she had a tremendous amount of potential in relationship to me, but largely I was unaware of who she was. To make suggestions and give advice as to how to find the right partner, I don't think I was listening, quite frankly. I'm sure they were blessed souls who made attempts, but I was pretty myopic at that time. Finding the right partner, what advice would I give my children? I think it would be important to work with them. I mean, like hard labor. I think I'd like to see them in a setting in which they're lifting something heavy. They're doing something dirty, as in dust and uncomfortable. I want to see what they're like when they're sweating in 90 degrees Tennessee summers. Well, I think the qualities that I was anticipating having in a woman who would become my wife would be the fortitude and persistence to work hard. Percentage, if any, is coping with your spouse's imperfections. I would say I would give it a good 30%, if not 35. Okay, 36. Okay. Because, we go through various stages of life where we think we know what we like and we think we know what we deserve. And I'm a man, and I know what a woman's supposed to provide, that's being facetious, of course. And so we're countlessly placed in situations where we think we know what something should be. We think we know what color the wall should be. We think we know how the car should run. We think we know how the room should look, or what is exactly a clean garage. We think we know. And so when someone has a different view, we assume then all kinds of things, most likely that they're wrong and I'm right.
I must say, interviewing my fellow classmates has been a very interesting experience. From them, I've learned the variations in how much parental advisory or suggestions play a role in how they choose their mate. I've also learned the different physical features that some of my peers and classmates are looking for. I've also been able to interact with them in regards to specific qualities that they would prefer in mate selection. In doing so, I've come to the conclusion that individuals are very different in terms of the specifics that they want, but overall, I believe, at least I found to be true with Southern students, that we pretty much want the same thing. A good listener, someone who's at least physically attractive in our own eyes, someone who may be a bit spiritually grounded, someone who has goal, direction, or vision. And so I realized that you can go from place to place, culture to culture, and I think we pretty much have the same basic needs in terms of a lifetime spouse. Me personally, I've been in a relationship for 2 years, and some of the qualities that I appreciate are intellect, humor, of course some spiritual backing. I don't necessarily prefer that an individual be religious, but spiritual acknowledgement is very important to me. Not so much as what church they attend or how often they have church attendance, but more so about how they live their lives. And all of those things, I think, come to when you're making an assessment about a person that you ultimately want to spend the rest of your life with. So I've had a very good experience, and if I could just leave one piece of information with everyone who may view this video, I'd say, live your life and enjoy people. And it's okay that if you meet someone and you realize that things aren't working out in the way that you had hoped, it's okay to make that person a friend and not necessarily feel the pressure that because we've started a relationship that we need to continue in this relationship and that we should get married. Aside from cultural pressure or familial pressure, I think that as young individuals, we need to start making some decisions for ourselves, and that includes who we spend the rest of our life with. Thank you for viewing. Bye.